time, a winter storm is bearing down on the area, but this one is being a whole host of problems, from snow and ice to wind and rain.
We have a live picture from Worcester, where as much as a foot of snow could be on the ground by the time this storm moves out. Other parts of our area will get 3 to 6 inches, and the snow is really coming down right now as we enter the height of the storm in the next few hours. Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for being with us here with our Eye on the Storm. I'm Paula Evans.
And I'm David Wade. Right now, dozens of schools are planning for early dismissals for their students. You will find updated delays and cancellations running at the bottom of your screen. We can also tell you more than 100 flights now canceled out of Logan, and Amtrak is running on a reduced schedule. Also, speed restrictions now in place on the Mass Pike from the New York border to the Weston Tolls. And the WBZ weather team has been tracking the storm since even before the first flakes started to fall.
So we have Chief Meteorologist Eric Fisher in Worcester, where that foot of snow is expected. Todd is here in the WBZ Weather Center with the very latest on the movement of this storm. And Danielle is live for us in Lowell. But Eric, let's begin with you and get the very latest. Good afternoon.
Hey there, Paula. We took the mobile Accuweather lab on a road trip farther west this time around. This is where the snow is a little fluffier. It's starting to pick up a little bit. And some sirens on the streets here. Folks dealing with a host of issues. So the visibility is going to be the biggest part as we head through this afternoon. And you talk about those early dismissals for a lot of the kids, hoping that they do get home safely. We're starting to see that increasing snow, and the travel is going to get a little more treacherous. So we take a look at the radar here, and the heaviest snow has really been taking its time this morning, working its way up from the south. We've seen those heavier rates down across coastal Rhode Island. They picked up a few inches of snowfall. Also in the southern Connecticut, they've got a half foot of snow that came down in just a couple of hours. And around the Groton area and over by Norwich, those darker blues are where you pick it up. And so for a lot of folks here locally, we're talking about most of your accumulation happening with those darker blues. It's a short period. You should be able to get 1 to 2 inch per hour rates, and that's why we end up seeing some significant totals. Around the Cape and the Islands, there's a rainstorm, and the rain is in Boston. It looks like half the city seeing raindrops, and on the western side, you've got the snowflakes. This is going to be a battle that goes back and forth over the next few hours before washing completely over toward rain. Heavy rainfall in the Cape will lead to localized flooding. And in terms of the snowfall, it's most widespread now through the early afternoon and mid-afternoon. 1 to 2 inch per hour rates mixing quickly on the south coast and across the Cape, so your total is certainly not as significant as what we're expecting inland. So we head through the mid-evening and early evening hours. That rain-snow line progresses farther north to the west. The northeast winds really starting to pick up, especially at the coast. We'll see those gusts over 40 and 50 miles per hour. And then overnight tonight, you get that backlash snow, and that looks most likely across north-central Massachusetts into New Hampshire and Maine and Vermont. That's where they'll pick up a lot of their snow. And our winds change around to the north, and they'll be quite gusty as we head into tomorrow morning. So snow totals 10 to 16, that's where the snow is fluffier. And we'll also be adding on some snow later on tonight. 6 to 10 for much of Metro West. 3 to 6 as you move south of Boston down toward Taunton. And then 1 to 3 for a thin area where you get a little bit of snow before the changeover. It's all rain for the Cape. Now, back out here live, certainly those higher rates have been impressive off to our south. Todd, we bring you in here to talk a little bit about what happens through this afternoon. And you look at New York, almost a foot of snowfall. They had whiteout conditions for a time.
Yeah, New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., monster snowstorm for those folks. And for us here in southern New England, for some, it will be equal to that, with snowfall amounts getting up close to a foot. Now, we're just starting here. We're getting into those heavier snow bands. So far out in Metro West and Wellesley, 2 inches of snow on the ground. All the roads are covered. All the main arteries there too. Route 9 going through Wellesley is snow covered. Woburn 1.3 inches. Millis 1 inch. Worcester about an inch, and New Bedford a half an inch of snow. It's interesting on the south coast. You go over to Fall River, there's some very heavy snow coming down right now, but as you get over towards the Cape Cod Canal, it's very heavy rainfall. It depends on where you are in southeastern Mass and the amounts of snow that you will see. We are concerned with the coastline a little bit, not too much. There will be some minor splash over later on tonight. High tides between 10 and 11 o'clock. Thankfully, the tides are running astronomically low, so we won't have excessive amounts of splash over and beach erosion and coastal flooding. Seas will be big, 12 to 17 footers, and of course the wind gusts are going to be a concern with this storm too. The storm center will likely go right up over the Cape and then into the Gulf of Maine, and it'll start cranking out there. And we'll get some very strong wind gusts. Later on this evening, we could have gusts of wind as high as 50 or maybe even 55 miles per hour, especially in elevated areas near the coastline. And then on the backside of the storm, tomorrow, the winds will be howling for everyone. Northwesterly winds could gust as high as 45 miles for the Cape and about 35 miles per hour near the coastline. All right, let's get back outside. Bring in Danielle Niles. She's live in Lowell this afternoon. Danielle?
Hey, good afternoon, Todd. Yes, live here outside of the rec center at UMass Lowell. And we're talking about snow that has just continued to pick up since we've been here at 6 a.m. this morning. At first it was flurries and then light snow, and now it's a moderate snow with about a mile visibility, and there's a bit of a breeze too. So I was just calculating some of the wind chill. Temperatures are in the mid-20s. It's feeling like the teens. Now, the UMass Lowell campus, like a lot of other schools around the Merrimack Valley, closed today, which I do have to say is a good call. I just went out for a drive about an hour ago, and the roads are a mess, completely snow covered. The highways may be a different story, but the secondary roads definitely slippery and slick with snow covering the entire area, and also here obviously on the sidewalks as well. We have about 1.5 inches of snow that's on the ground. With temperatures that are in the mid-20s, it's obviously a bit of a fluffier consistency right now. As the temperatures go up a little bit more, I'm expecting that consistency to change somewhat as we head into the late afternoon and evening especially. Still talking about the heaviest snow bands to our south. So I've seen a lot of the students walking by, obviously from the dorm building into the rec center with t-shirts and shorts on. David and Paula, I said, where are your coats? You got to put them on. It's chilly out here. And I think it was a good call by a lot of the schools to close today just to keep everyone safe on campus and on the roads as well.
Lot to deal with. We appreciate it, Danielle. Thanks very much. And we want to bring you some breaking news right now. Yarmouth police are investigating the death of a 2-year-old child. The authorities tell us that they were called to a West Yarmouth home a little after 8 o'clock this morning, and that's where they found this 2-year-old unresponsive. This is at 320 Winslow Gray Road in Yarmouth. The death is under investigation by Yarmouth and State Police. Stay with WBZ for more details on this story throughout the day. Well, turning to the travel picture now, talk about a difficult day all up and down the East Coast.
At Logan Airport, more than 100 flights have been canceled so far today. Of course, all of this right before the big rush of February vacation. Similar situations in New York and Philly and D.C. Airports there getting hit hard as well. Jim Smith is live for us at Logan Airport with the very latest on the travel troubles there. Jim?
Well, David, it's actually pretty quiet, believe it or not, here at Logan Airport, but that's probably because so many flights have been canceled. Not much snow here, but a chain reaction of bad weather elsewhere added up to major headaches for travelers. It's not a blizzard at Logan Airport by any means. The airfield and runways are wide open, but problems elsewhere on the East Coast have led to significant flight cancellations here. A challenging day for travelers and the people running Logan.
About 30% of the flights have been canceled here at Logan. So again, we suggested people call your airline to see what the status is of your flight and whether it's been impacted or not.
The Bex family from Plastown, New Hampshire is headed for Tampa, but there's one problem. Their plane wasn't here, delaying their flight. They're trying to be patient.
Everybody seems pretty calm, so we'll just see how things go.
Just wait it out, huh?
That's right.
See how it pans out, see if we actually get out.
Patience?
Yeah, it's what you gotta have on a day like today.
But it's not all bad. Another family is headed to Aruba, and they had no problems. By tonight, they'll be in a tropical paradise. Right about now, that doesn't sound half bad.
Well, we came in last night. We stayed overnight at the hotel so we could get our first flight out.
So it hasn't been delayed or anything?
No, right on time. Right on time.
Were you concerned about that?
Yes, I was. Very concerned.
I'm going to Aruba on JetBlue.
Are you excited?
Yes.
That does sound pretty good right now. A vacation in Aruba, and why not? Very, very enticing. Incidentally, they're in it for the long haul here at Logan Airport. They're even thinking that possibly the problems might continue into Friday morning, not only because of the bad weather that might linger around here, but also because of any other potential problems up and down the East Coast. That chain reaction again, it never seems to end. Live at Logan, Jim Smith, WBZ News. Paula, David, back to you.
Jim, thanks so much. You know, so many people had those plans to fly for so long. So from the skies to the road, this is Mobile 4 on Route 9 in Natick. You can hear our producer Ken Tucci mentioning that he's in the Wellesley stretch. Snow beginning to gather, and you can see that changeover mix there, David, what Todd has been talking about all morning long.
And it's almost been fairly slow to gather so that you've been able to keep basically black pavement in your view, but that could change over the next couple of hours as Todd and Eric have been talking about this storm really starting to ramp up. So we are keeping our eye on the storm right now.
Stay with us. We're giving you a live look right now outside. This is Lowell. It is coming down, and Todd, Eric, Danielle are all over this storm, and they have the transitions as we head into the afternoon for you. Don't go away. WBZ News coverage. We'll be right back.
The future of Boston. Healthcare. Tomorrow's cures are being discovered here.
Boston is the hub of everything when it comes to science and healthcare.
It's really, I think, the epicenter.
WBZ's Lisa Hughes explores the innovations and medical breakthroughs.
It's really cool. It's just revolutionary.
That's extremely powerful.
How local researchers are shaping the treatments of tomorrow.
What we really see is a great opportunity to expand what we know.
The future of Boston. Healthcare. Tonight on WBZ News at 5.
Here's your Peabody Essex Museum Arts Update. See what's on display this week. The museum comes to life with experimental sound at the 10 p.m. Thursday, February 20th. Only at the Peabody Essex Museum in Salem, where art and culture meet.
Attention New England, forget everything you ever thought of as big. Because right now, the biggest thing you'll see around here is the Toyota Washington's Birthday Sales Event. Get a lowest ever $179 a month lease on an all-wheel drive Venza with no cost maintenance included. Or get an all-wheel drive Venza with best ever 0 for 60 plus $750 bonus cash. Hurry to the Toyota Washington's Birthday Sales Event. It ends February 17th. The savings are wicked big. Toyota, let's go places.
Now, movement is 2 times more comfortable with new Move Free Ultra Omega, a powerful omega-3 supplement that gives you 2 times better joint comfort than glucosamine and chondroitin in just 1 small soft gel. Get better joint comfort. Switch to new Move Free Ultra Omega.
Where can you find the biggest selection of brand name furniture around? In the furniture capital of New England. Greater Gardner Furniture Outlets. A smarter way to shop for furniture.
This portion of WBZ News is brought to you by BMW at Peabody.
Back with live pictures from Manchester, the snowfall there, and we have the story from Boston for you as well.
Yeah, preseason has been in Copley Square throughout the morning, checking out how Boston is dealing with this storm. Hey, Bree.
Hey, David. Good afternoon, Paula. It's been pretty decent here out here near Copley Square. The roads are looking okay. We saw some heavy periods of snow earlier, but now we're transitioning more to rain. But I got to tell you, we've been covering snow for a long time now. It's been a long winter. But the good news is that I work with brilliant meteorologists like Danielle Niles, who will tell us all sorts of useful information that we can use on days like this, including what the lights on the old Hancock Tower building mean. There are boots on the ground in Boston. All kinds of boots. In Copley Square, expect business as usual. Despite an early morning warning.
Blinking just means snowing.
Blinking red.
Go back to bed.
Steady red, rain ahead, flashing red, snow ahead.
John at Copley Place and the Hancock Tower lights warned us today would be blustery.
I don't like it very much. Wish I was in the Bahamas.
True, but can you believe that guy's the philosophy professor? Listen to some others wax poetic on nature's charm.
The snow is just like the raindrops. They both refresh us because they both refresh the air we breathe, right?
We are breathing in that cold air, and so are our buddies. That's me, Bobby. Because, let's be serious, we can't hide from this winter forever.
It's cold, but it's not too bad yet. I think it'll be worse later, but it's not terrible.
And you still have to go to work?
Yeah, always.
Always at work, that's the way it goes. Salters and Sanders are hard at work right now. The mayor says there are hundreds of pieces of equipment out there to keep their streets safe. This rain, though, is going to help them out a lot. David and Paula, back to you.
I wish flashing red meant summer ahead, but we know better.
Yeah, right?
We know better in New England. Bree, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And getting around is the issue once you're dealing with all of this. Our Christina Hager is in Newton for us. She's been focusing on that headache, that part of the story. Christina?
Paula, it started out slow, then we had a pretty good snowfall coming down, and now it's changing over to something really wet, like a mix of snow and rain. On the roads, well, now it's had a chance to pack down, but that layer of snow is turning into slush, and that can be slippery. But this morning, people were going about their business as usual because it wasn't too bad. There are many people who have to keep working, among them a local taxi company here in Newton Center, but these are the kinds of days when people driving really dread. The owner of Holden's taxi service is firing up the vehicles, but he doesn't know for how long. What happens when the driving gets really tough for you?
And you can't go anywhere. You have to cease operations.
This tough winter has already taken a beating on his business.
People don't go out at night. Once they're in at night, they stay home.
Because of the weather.
Because of the weather, the cold, not just because of the snow, because of the cold too.
And you know those taxi drivers are used to these conditions, so when they're concerned, when they're thinking about getting off the road, that's probably a cue for the rest of us. We should pay attention to that. Just took a ride down to the DPW yard here in Newton. The side roads are getting slippery, especially where there are hills. Talked with a plow driver, and he says the warning he'd like to get out is for people to just slow down because it's not what it was like when we set out this morning. In Newton, Christina Hager, WBZ News. Back to you.
All right, Christina, appreciate it. Thank you. We've been talking about how a lot of schools have early dismissal today. Could be some issues for buses, especially if this is a scene that we see again. This was in Duxbury, where the fire department sent us a photo of a school bus and a tractor trailer involved in a minor accident. The two vehicles sort of just scraped each other. 5 children were on the bus. None of them was injured. They were just moved off to another bus. And a major truck accident causing havoc on the expressway during this morning's commute. A tanker caught fire at about 6 o'clock this morning in the southbound lanes near Neponset, near the gas tanks. That blaze was quickly put out, but it was hours before they were able to get it off the highway. The southbound lanes were shut down for more than an hour. So far, no word on what caused the truck to burst in flames.
Well, still ahead, the AccuWeather forecast as we enter the brunt of this nor'easter.
Also, the special way Boston will mark this year's marathon. We get the behind-the-scenes details about the event.
She ran into a pole, damaging my truck.
Did that happen? No, ma'am. You're a liar.
Judge Judy.
Today at 4 on WBZ-TV.
Prepare to weep at the glory of my genius.
When you're America's favorite geeks, yeah, that's big.
He is a born showman.
When you're the #1 comedy on television,
Leonard?
It's not a great time.
that's big. When you're having your biggest season ever,
My brain is better than
everybody, that's Big Bang. Yeah! The Big Bang Theory tonight, only CBS.
You'll never forget that fun-filled day of sledding with the family, and neither will your vehicle's carpeting. Unless you have WeatherTech floor liners. WeatherTech liners are laser measured to custom fit and protect your specific make and model. Front, back, even up the sides. Dirt and spills stay in the liner until you wash them away. Order your WeatherTech floor liners at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMax. Complete protection, completely American made. Order your WeatherTech protection today at WeatherTech.com.
Nice office. How you doing?
Good.
Automatic discounts the moment you sign up.
Okay, 6 more visits and you'll have your new dentures.
6.
6.
How about 3?
6.
4.
6.
4.5.
6.
5.
6.
Okay, hold it. Let's try something new.
Okay, Mrs. Tucker, your dentures will be ready this Friday. You can do that? We do that. No way. Yes way.
No, no.
Yes. Wow.
Aspen Dental is doing whatever it takes to give America a healthy mouth, like on-site denture labs for dentures in days, not weeks. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL because your mouth is our mission.
Some are novices. Some are triathletes. Some ride for their family and friends, and some ride for themselves, but they all ride for a cause. Be a part of the fight against cancer at the 35th Pan Mass Challenge. 12 routes through 46 towns across Massachusetts. Join us in the effort to raise $40 million for research and patient care at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. The Pan Mass Challenge, August 2nd and 3rd. For more information, go to cbsboston.com/PMC.
This portion of WBZ News is brought to you by the Boston Wine Expo.
Welcome back as we take a live look toward Boston with our rainy lens there. This is really a storm with like a split personality.
Spend enough time around the weather people and you learn a few things like the word echo, which are the very bright colors on the map that tell us what's rain and what's snow and what's heavy snow. And Todd, we're starting to see some of those super bright colors, the echo on your map, coming up here toward Boston.
Yeah, we've been waiting for them all morning and now into the early afternoon, and this is what's really going to give us our thumping of snow, or we're picking up most of the accumulation. The problem is right now, warmer air has worked into the coastline through Boston. There's some warmer air out near Newton and inside of 128. So that's going to cut down on snow amounts. It's going to be more of a slushy accumulation, and that will lead to some less snow near the coastline. I believe we have Eric Fisher. He's out live in Worcester right now. We want to check in with him. There he is in a snowy city of Worcester.
Todd, the hood is finally up here in Worcester. The snow rates have finally really started to pick up, and we say that as a good thing in terms of verifying the forecast, but a bad thing, of course, in terms of how the rest of this day is going to pan out and your travel. We're up here on Route 9, called Belmont Hill, outside of UMass Medical Center, and you look down the street, the visibility is certainly much more poor, and it's cold for much of the interior. This is why our snow forecast is higher here. You're talking about a fluffier snow, and it's now in the next few hours. This is where a lot of that snow is going to stack up for most of the area. Let's take a look at some of those headlines again and some of the timing that we're expecting heading through this afternoon. And, you know, it's really going to pick up in just a short amount of time. So this may be surprising to some folks. If you're out and about, it's been light snow for much of the day. These heavier rates are going to make things much more treacherous. That lasts till about 5 o'clock. Meanwhile, it's all rain for southeastern Massachusetts. That warming with some sleet will start to mix in here, even in the interior as we head toward this evening. Things will quiet down for really about a little after dinner time through much of the overnight, and after midnight, we get into the backlash. Here's the storm. You see the dry slots south of Long Island. That's what moves in later on tonight. Those darker blues, incredible. Someone just sent me a picture on Twitter, and I put the report out there. They've gotten over 6 inches of snow in the last 2 hours in Connecticut in some of those blues. And those are the rates that are now moving their way northward up into Massachusetts. You've already noticed a difference in our live shot here. And it's all rain as you move across Cape Cod and the islands, and that's going to lead to its own issues. More drainage, flooding, checking on the basements, the rooftops. You'll see over an inch of rain, even some thunderstorms as we head toward this evening. And into southern New Hampshire, by the way, it's light snow for now. Your heaviest stuff is much later on this afternoon and into tonight. So there, a little closer look. You notice Plymouth is into the raindrops. Boston at the airport is also into the raindrops. There'll be a battle right near the city. On the western side of the city, you'll probably see more snow than at Logan. 36 at Nantucket is a peak gust right now. 25 at Hartford and 32 in Falmouth. They're starting to come up. They should top 50 as we head toward later on this afternoon. That's strong enough to lead to some scattered outages and certainly just a nasty day to be out and about, even if we're on the rain side of this particular storm. So back out here live, you can see a much snowier scene than we had earlier on this morning. The snow is quite fluffy, so no issues stacking up here. And the bottom line is just going to be really careful out there on the streets. It's a pretty dynamic storm. It's undergoing what we call bombogenesis, a deep drop in pressure in a short amount of time. We're seeing that drop just off to our south. And so as this wraps up tonight, it brings that last band through. And you know what, Todd, I like to always put at least some silver lining into a forecast. Last weekend we said it was the best weekend of the season for skiing. This weekend, better than last weekend, no doubt about that.
About last weekend, right? This upcoming weekend, especially with school vacation week coming up, kids, families are going to have a blast as they head northward or stay here in the Commonwealth, because the mountains in Worcester County, all those hills out there and out in the Berkshires and parts of Connecticut too, picking up tons and tons of snow. I just saw on Twitter, you know, where it's snowing, it's really coming down. The southwestern suburbs of the city, getting out towards the Rhode Island line. Attleboro, someone tweeted the snowflakes are the size of pumpkins right now. Obviously not that big, but they're really big, and it's really starting to accumulate. And this is going to be the case as we head through the afternoon. Where it's snowing, we get heavy snow. Where it's not, we get heavy rain. And that rain will amount to some temporary street flooding in southeastern parts of Massachusetts. Again, snowfall amounts hefty off to the north and west out through Worcester County. Not so much, just some slushy coatings near the coastline. Paul and David, let's get back to you.
All right, appreciate it, Todd. Thank you so much.
We have Mobile 4, 128 north now and hitting the roads. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with the latest. Stay with us.
When winter storms hit New England, no one covers them quite like WBZ
The WBZ Accuweather team has had this storm covered.
It has just been steady snow since we rolled up here.
Some rates just over an inch per hour.
Starting to get some new totals in for you.
About a half foot on the ground here at Government Center.
Let's take a live look from Mobile 4 right now. And Governor Patrick on the phone.
You're on Twitter, Facebook, in our chat room, on our website.
Plus doing all the radio stations in town.
You're all over.
When winter's at its worst, we're here for you. WBZ Accuweather.
All new Dr. Phil, 16 and in a gang.
You've mugged people. How do you feel good about that?
I don't feel good. I just felt in control.
Today at 3 on WBZ-TV.
Retire from the worries of winter at Brooksby Village or Linden Ponds.
You're the Erickson living community. You don't worry about the weather outside. Everything goes on as if snow never happened.
You have a medical center here, you have a bank, and you have 6 feet of snow out there. Just go.
In our house, we always had concerns about ice on the driveway. It's a very freeing thing, and I don't have to worry about any of that.
Enjoy stress-free retirement living at Brooksby Village or Linden Ponds. Call for your free brochure. Attention New England, forget everything you ever thought of as big. Because right now, the biggest thing you'll see around here is the Toyota Washington's Birthday Sales Event. Get a lowest ever $179 a month lease on a winter-ready all-wheel drive RAV4 with no-cost maintenance included. See more best ever offers at buyatoyota.com. Hurry to the Toyota Washington's Birthday Sales Event. It ends February 17th. The savings are wicked big. Toyota, let's go places.
Sleepy's President's Day sale is going on now, with half off practically every mattress in the store. Get Beauty Rest Queen sets starting at just $3.99, only at Sleepy's, the mattress professionals, making the world a better place to sleep.
Be My Valentine. Half-carat floating hearts are $3.99. Infinity, floating heart, and journey pendants are $99. Diamond studs $59, and 2-carat diamond and amethyst pendants just $39. Buy factory direct and save. The Jewelry Exchange in Sudbury.
After my heart attack, I looked at life differently.
So we had a talk with our doctor.
He told us about a clinical research study that's evaluating investigational medication to see if it may help people reduce the risk of having another heart attack or stroke.
It investigates a different approach to reducing bad cholesterol levels.
If you've had a heart attack, stroke, or have peripheral arterial disease, see if you may qualify for the heart research study. Call 888-45-STUDY or visit heartresearchstudy.com.
This portion of WBZ News is brought to you by Minnie of Peabody.
So look for snow to get really heavy.
Yes, it is. It's occurring right now. Very heavy snow, huge snowflakes. In some cases near whiteout conditions at the moment. Near the Rhode Island line through 495, approaching 128. And that's working its way back to the coast. Don't put your guard down just yet. We have some rain in the Boston area. We're going to get into some of those fat flakes for a couple of hours. We'll get a slushy coating to 3 inches, something like that. Obviously, a lot more through the Worcester Hills, as much as 12 to 16 inches of snow. Wow.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it. Stay with us throughout the afternoon, of course, for continuing coverage of this winter blast. Catch us online as well at cbsboston.com.
We'll see you for the very latest at 5.